As we move forward, we're going to have a look at sustainability of the product. Obviously, in the modern world, this is a key aspect of any product, and it's really important to get a good understanding of the sustainability of a product. One area we're going to have a look at is product miles. Now, product miles is the distance all raw materials, component parts have to travel to reach a final consumer. You'll often hear this associated with foods and foods travelling distances to be able to get to consumers and the issues around sustainability in terms of that. But it's also an important part of what we call a life cycle analysis. And a life cycle analysis is essentially a sustainability analysis of a product. So if we take one quick example, if we look at the iPhone, obviously it's a little bit out of date with an iPhone 6, but you can see as you look around this diagram, all the different parts, the Wi-Fi module, the battery, the storage, the camera. Some of them come from common countries, so China is a key part here, but there's also Japan and Korea, the USA are also involved. And this is just each individual part. These will then all be taken quite often with Apple to China to be manufactured. And then from China, they will be shipped to whichever country they're going to be sold in. So if that was the UK, they would then get shipped from China or flown or trucked from China across to the UK. They would then be distributed around the UK depending on which region they're going to be sold in, and then they would reach the consumer. So the total miles there would all be based on each individual part. But of course, each one of these parts also has raw materials that go into them. So this spider's web can get even bigger when you really get it down to, for example, if we look at the camera at the top right, it's made by Sony, all the raw materials that need to be in terms of the glass, the silicon for the electronics, all of the different elements that need to come together to be able to make that single part would form their own trace in terms of the miles that they have to travel. If we look at something like a bicycle, which is what we're going to analyse today, and we think about the aluminium, which is the main part this particular frame is made from, that's made of bauxite. So the raw material or the core element of aluminium is bauxite. So that there is mined quite often in Australia, although it's a hugely abundant element, so it can be mined all across the world. That will then be shipped, so it will be trucked to the ships. The trucks or the ports are often very close to the mines, or as close as they can be. They'll then be shipped. For example, in this case, there is a processing plant in Mumbai. So we go from Australia, whichever part of Australia we're in, we've trucked to our ships. Our ships have then sailed all the way across to Mumbai. In Mumbai, it's then processed for a process like this. So we end up with what we would recognise today as aluminium. So maybe it's bar or it's sheet or it's rolled aluminium. That aluminium is then taken from Mumbai down through the Gulf of Aden, up through the Suez Canal, across the Mediterranean, and to one of the biggest ports in Spain, so Valencia. From Valencia, it's then loaded onto trucks. It's then shipped, if it's for the UK, it's shipped up through Europe, across the Channel, and then into the UK factory. And then obviously from the UK factory, it will then be distributed out to the different manufacturers, and that's if that bike is manufactured within the UK. So that's a really good, simple process that shows you the amount of miles just simply the raw material of aluminium has to travel before it can get to the factory to even begin to make the bicycle.